All right, guys, you might want to cover your ears because this thing's loud. Yeah, so, in case you've been living under a rock, this is an electric vehicle. So they've added these sounds. They've added these sounds to it, which, a lot of electric cars, yeah, they do have some synthetic noises that they pump in through the cabin, usually, to kind of, it's just like, it's more satisfying, isn't it? When you hit the throttle, you get some like audible cue response from the car. The Ioniq 5N from Hyundai, they kind of took that a step further. They included the fake shifts. So that, that's a pretty high bar that Hyundai has raised with these fake sounds in electric vehicles. So you might say, well, this is better. You might say that this is actually better because they're not trying to, they're not trying to just pump noise into the cabin here. No, no, this thing is actually designed to amplify this sound effect out of the rear end here. Actually, I don't know. Can you see this? There's this section down here. They say it's like a chamber with a huge amp in it, basically. And, well, yeah, they call it the Fratzonic. This is it right here. Fratzonic exhaust chamber noise generator, basically. And so, I mean, of course, you're still going to hear this inside the cabin, but I guess, primarily it's designed for, I guess, I don't know, to fool the people that you're driving by into thinking you have a HEMI V8, I guess. I don't know. And by the way, it does idle as well. It does make the idling noise. And, of course, I mean, let's be honest, that's a lot of people who, drive Challengers and Chargers. That's what they want, They want, that's what they want. They want it to be loud and they want people to notice. So, in a way, it makes sense to kind of follow that same philosophy, even though this thing's all electric. The only problem is, I would be a little bit worried that instead of impressing the people that you're driving by, they might start to laugh. But let's talk about the performance here, because at the end of the day, it's not just the look, it's not just the sound. It's got to be fast too, right? I mean, it's about the speed. So, what we're going to have basically at the launch here, we're going to have an RT and a Scat Pack. So now both of these are going to be dual motor. So one in the front, one in the rear, and that means all-wheel drive, of course. Now the RT is going to start at $62,000, and it'll give you 496 horsepower. And of course, you can step up to the Scat Pack. That's 75 grand, but you do get 670 horsepower. So, and you get these brakes too, the Brembo brakes. They say you get better seats inside, probably more supportive seats, and adjustable dampers as well. So, actually, that doesn't sound too bad for $13,000 more. That sounds pretty good. I think it's just, where the price is starting at, the base price at 62. I think that's what people are going to have some problem with. But, Stellantis, they say, yes, you are going to be able to get a combustion engine in this thing next year. The following year, you're going to be able to get the new Hurricane Straight 6. So, you don't have to go for this EV. So that's kind of the good, that's like the saving grace of this thing, because, this thing does look pretty cool. It does look cool. And there's, obviously they've kind of optimized the aerodynamics here a little bit more, than like the Challenger, for example, because of course, with an EV, you need to get the most range as possible. This is a cool little design detail. This picture really shows it off too. Basically this front grille is not really a grille. It's, a continuous, the hood is like a continuous piece there. So, all the air going into this grille actually doesn't do any cooling effect. It just kind of goes up over the car. So it basically means, this thing has a lower front end on it. And this is kind of a cool shot here. This is kind of like looking up into it. And yeah, from kind of the top view, you can see that, there's no, there's no cooling effect here. it just, yeah, it's going to basically make the front end of the car, you know, it's like it's lower, right? I mean, really, it's like the front end is down here. So you're not going to have that tall, upright front end, you know, from an aerodynamic standpoint. So, but you still kind of get this look. So, you know, obviously this is kind of a good solution, but, you know, just from a styling aspect, I think it's a little, it didn't really turn out that well. I think the frontal expression on this thing is a little sad, really. I mean, I don't, maybe that's almost like what the designers wanted to do, you know, but I think from the side and from the rear, you know, I think for sure this thing actually looks, this looks like a serious successor. So I don't know, maybe, I guess I'd be willing to bet we're going to see, you know, a slightly different headlight and grille treatment on the versions with that Hurricane Straight 6. I mean, for sure, it's probably going to, you know, we're probably going to get the headlights like this again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's probably going to look a lot better. What looks really good, actually, is the interior on this thing. You know, that has never kind of been a strong suit of Dodge, but there's just not only just the general layout and design here, but the attention to detail, you know? I mean, yeah, they really tried to make this thing like something special. So, you know, if you always wanted an electric muscle car, this is pretty much your dream come true.